Only two with blanket spot.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Sith Brotherhood. I mean, Legion lads.
This
You monster.
guy.
I'm
I'm gonna start taking the intros from you. I'm just gonna
Do it.
yeah.
I'm your host, JR. Today we got Jose, Nick, and Rob. How's it going, guys? I
Yo.
had to
Going
tease you guys. I
good.
had to tease you guys.
It's going good. I got to
So,
beat Jose last week.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
beat
You guys played
myself,
two
Every,
sir.
games.
wait, everyone does that though. That's not interesting.
No, I beat myself.
We'll get into that, I'm sure. Today, guys. Today we're gonna go over the ARF Troopers that got announced. We got Jose and I got some experience with the Crab Droids and Aquas. Um, and we're gonna go over the new prize kit for GT.
Ooh.
Before we go over that, though, we have a local tournament in Legend Comics on Saturday, February 22nd. If you guys are local, if you guys are, those that are not local, if you guys are nearby, come on by. It starts, I believe, at 9. Yep, at 9 a.m.
And is
Round one
it?
starts at
Checking.
10.
Yeah. So sign up and get there at 9 so you can do
Mhm.
registration and
Yep,
stuff. But I'm pretty
yep.
sure round one is at 10. Let me double check.
The player
Mhm.
cap is at 10. So I think we've got, last I checked, 7 players.
Yeah.
You haven't joined yet, Rob, right, Rob?
I'm staying out, and then at
Mhm.
the day of, if there's a spot, I'm gonna play. If
Yeah.
assuming I'm not like if I'm the eighth player or the 10th player, I'll play. If I'm the ninth player, I'll just stay out. That way I can like hang out and judge.
Yeah.
On that note, though, the cards for the event prize support that I made, they will be in possibly on time. It's all up to the United States Postal Service, so
Oh,
let's
it's
see
Hopefully,
how they do.
that'd be sweet.
It might be FedEx. I don't know who they're shipping with, but
Yeah, our
hopefully on
local
time.
players, if you can make it, that'd be amazing. But to our non-local players, if that's like too soon, you get busy and everything, we do have Vet Fest again this year, coming up at the end or beginning of July,
No, mid-July,
mid-July.
around the
So
16th ish,
TBD.
that is going
TBD.
to be an LVOIS. So keep it in the back of your mind if you're gearing up to want to come play in Fresno, Clovis actually, Clovis, California.
Same
We would love to have
difference.
you. I know people want to see me get beaten, so definitely come and do that. Um, but anyways, moving on. Let's go over what the GT stuff got in. You guys take a look at this stuff.
I
Yep,
honestly have
I
barely
sent
looked
it
at
to
it.
you, sir.
You
I have
did.
looked at it. Of course I did. This is the important stuff. This is stuff I get.
Which is surprising that California has only got one GT so far, which is SoCal.
Well, hopefully we can make it
Yeah.
two next year if enough people show up to Vet Fest,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Show up to Vet Fest. If we get
No,
32 people there,
no, we're
if
not.
Nick
We're
shows up,
no.
if
We're not.
if Nick makes a little bit of an MCP tournament on the side and like his people play on Sunday, then we got two games, and maybe we can get like another local to set up like an 8-person Shatterpoint tournament, and then we can say we got all three games.
Or
That
better yet, AMG make the requirement lower. Actually support the lower locals like you said you were going to, the smaller communities. Uh,
California's hard because
they they
we're
are
such a
supporting
large
more
state.
communities. They are supporting more communities. So I know you feel bad about that, JR, but they technically are in that before just like for example, us going to LVO. There would not have been those AMG dice at LVO before. They would have only been an Adepticon in their old model. But now you could go to LVO and get their dice and get their stuff and
What's
go to other
Sure.
GTs around the area and get those dice. Like Rob, you went to a tournament in Bay Area, right? And you got the dice, right? Was it
No,
Bay Area? Where'd you go?
no,
I forget.
no. I got those from going to Indianapolis to Gen Con.
Oh,
So
you went to Gen
that's
Con,
right.
but exactly, they wouldn't have been
But
there.
that
They,
that
but
tournament's different because that is run by AMG. So you would have
um,
gotten them even before.
I don't know. Well, that's a good question. If they, I can't remember if they were there before,
Yeah, I
but
know. So Gen Con is special because it's
yeah,
one of the few that it's like Worlds run by the company.
yeah,
There's a couple around the world that they do, but not a lot. Like most of the GTs are independently hosted, like LVO, right? Where
yeah.
it's like, yes, they're getting the prize kit from AMG, but like, none of the AMG team is there making sure things are,
Yeah.
you
So,
know,
so even though we're not getting it
and running
locally,
it.
it is more accessible. The stuff is more accessible because of this new system.
Sure, but
sure,
let's make
sure.
it accessible enough so that California can get one other than the complete southern part of the state, which is like, again, what is it, 9-hour drive for us? 10? I've
Seven.
never driven it. Okay,
No,
seven.
no,
It's seven.
it's only six.
Yeah, it's not
It's
San
seven.
Diego, 6 hours.
No. Yeah,
We
6 hours,
went
I think.
when my wife graduated from nursing school. The graduation was in San Diego. It took us
Yeah,
7
so
hours.
Jose driving, so I had an
You
extra
drive
hour.
slow, sir.
No, I don't. Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry, Nick. Are you
Language,
kidding me?
language. So
I'm a maniac,
All
bro.
I'm
Stay on
saying
track.
is AMG lower the requirement, help us, smaller communities,
And
because
sure,
if
and
we,
so now it's up to Californians, right? And people from outside California to come to our little tournament. And next year we're gonna put an application if we have enough people, and let's hope it can become a GT.
well, what
Nick
was
says
that
it's never
kit?
going to be.
That
I'm a
kit.
believer.
Hold on,
I
that
believe
kit
in
that we
you
got
in
from
us.
Vet Fest. What kit was that?
That was the store kit.
That was store
That was a
kit.
store
Yeah,
kit.
store kit.
We don't
Yeah,
get a store
which
kit this year, huh?
yeah, I haven't heard anything about a store kit. Have they announced one?
I believe there is a store kit. I believe there is one. I believe there is. If I could be wrong,
Can
but
you go
I
look for
think I've
that while we're talking
Yeah.
about the
Well, I
big
was gonna
kit, and we
say,
can
yeah,
talk about
Nick.
that after
Yeah,
then?
Yeah.
there's no announcement of a store kit. Like, I'm
Roman
shocked
would know.
because
Yeah.
they would. I would love a store kit. Like, that's
An
fine
updated store
Speaking
kit,
of,
if you
can
not
want the
the
somebody
nicer
out-of-date
stuff
drop
to come to
cards.
like bigger tournaments. That's cool, but we should at least get a store kit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let's go over that stuff that's in this new season of the GTs. So the first thing is the best Spock dice. I'm saying that wrong.
Bespoke.
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 Yeah, what does bespoke mean when it comes to dice? Like,
Custom.
Those are your-
Custom.
oh, why didn't they just say custom then?
It's
It doesn't
fancy.
sound
aren't
fancy.
those
Yeah.
so
Fancy.
from what I was hearing on other podcasts, the bespoke dice are the pearly dice you guys have.
It's special.
I
It's
hope
custom
it's
dice. It's
different
special dice.
ones, but probably. Like if they can get the same exact art style, not art, but like style for red defense dice and for what am I missing? White attack dice, perfect. Because the dice from last year's were so good, like top notch, love them.
Yes.
None of my
AMG.
dice have a side that's.
We'll get into that. We'll get into
Okay,
that.
I'll hold it.
Yeah,
But-
please AMG give us some special red defense die. That'd be
Red
cool.
defense
They might-
dice. Have they ever done red defense dice?
No,
Okay.
not even
Red defense
FFE.
dice. That's what we
No.
want.
So if us getting new dice or the same dice kind of all depends if they've ran out yet. Because if they
Sure.
if they
Sure.
still have dice from last year, it might be still the same dice from last year.
Yeah.
So that is just for participating, which is cool.
Mm.
Right.
The also participation prize is 5 alternate command cards, which are aggression, assault, discretion, ploy, and push.
Yeah, that's an interesting set. I mean, push, assault, and why aren't wait, so that's a 3-pip, the 2-pip. Where's the 1-pip there, right? Why or am I tripping?
Ploy is the one.
Ploy.
Well,
We
Ploy's
got
the
Ploy
mercenary.
last year though, didn't
Ploy's the
we?
mercenary 1-pip. Mercenary 1-pip, not the regular
But
one.
we don't have like why are you
Yeah,
doing
no
push and
ambush.
assault and not ambush? Right? Especially since again, Ploy was there last year. And it's foil. So
But these are different. It's different art, and apparently
Sure,
some of it's
but
going to be
like-
in Arabesque as well.
And to note that these are not foil. So maybe
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But again,
it's
it's
different
like,
art.
it's like I would prefer if it was like split up amongst other stuff, right? So that like you have more options for special stuff that's official. You know what I mean? Rather than like I have 2 ploys and they're both official because you don't
But
even use one.
how often do you take the standard 1, 2, and 3 pips? Like not often.
I mean,
True.
we
You're
can.
normally running but in New Legion you're running 2 characters, so more than likely you
Correct.
have 2 1 pips.
But what if I'm
So you're
running
right.
a T series and STD? Then I can run push and assault.
Well, and then in that case, you'd be better off running the Special Legion lads push and assault that you got from the
He
Legion lad
guilted me
league.
when we played. He's like, "You're not using the Legion Lad card." I'm like, "No, I got."
Yeah, he had
freaking,
some random
I have Dot
standing
from,
orders,
from
and I'm
Back
like,
to the Future.
I think Ploys. I think Ploys are just for the high volume of Shadow Collector players we're seeing.
Yeah,
So,
that's what the assumption is with all the different cards. It's just the.
well, I mean, if it's supposed to be for the Shadow Collective folks, why do one of the other Shadow Collective cards, right?
Well,
I don't know.
maybe with April they're gonna announce some like new stuff for Shadow Collective, or remodel some stuff. I know
That
they
being
said
said,
they wouldn't. but
Shadow
we'll
Collective's
see.
not gonna get touched, bro. There's nothing wrong with Shadow Collective. They just need more stuff.
I'm
I
not
feel like
saying
we're out of
there
scope
is,
with that, but
we'll see.
we'll see. But I don't know. Like, I'm glad there's command cards for everyone because I think command cards are the best thing to hand out because they're especially these like common ones, like everyone can use them, right? So that's nice, especially as the like door prize for showing up. But I don't know. We'll see. Like,
Yeah.
especially the ploy. Like, I don't know. But again, if they look really
Honestly,
cool, maybe I'll like do my best to use them. So,
yeah, I agree. Custom dice and the command cards are probably the best thing to give out because this other stuff that I'm gonna go over, it's a little frustrating because they change all the time. Feel like I have a bunch of alternate unit cards that now are not good.
completely,
Useless.
Yeah,
yeah.
useless. So,
And so maybe we talk about the top 8 stuff next,
yeah.
right? Because
So
that's the
to
cool
get to
stuff.
top eight, if you get to top eight, you get these 5 foil unit cards. That's Leia Organa, fearless and innovative.
Don't worry about it. Inventive,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah. Thank you. Director Krennic, Yoda, the Super Tech Droid Kalani,
Ooh.
and Chewbacca. Let the Wookiee win.
So this is, from what I know, the second foil unit cards you can get. The first are the door prize for Worlds last year, which was the Bad Batch, which was like foil and had like a nice world sticker on the back.
Ah,
But
well, there's a lot of foil unit cards
are
out
there?
there. Yeah, there's Cad Bane. There's I
Where'd you get
have
that one?
Padme. I got him at La LVO the second year.
Are those official? I don't know. That's before
Yeah,
I played. Maybe
I
I'm
think
just
they were
wrong. They're
FFG at the
official?
time because
Got it.
Cad Bane is
Mm-hmm.
CIS, and
Okay.
then Padme obviously, and then also I got
Boba Fett, right? Boba
oh
Fett
yeah,
foil.
Boba
Oh,
Fett.
I even have a Boba Fett that's full. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm Joseing today. I'm like, it's
Uh,
literally sitting right there. I also think the Ahsoka one, isn't that one also foil that I also have? Like,
I also have the Delta Squad foil.
okay, so there's just a lot of foil cards I didn't
Yeah.
remember. So it's not normal, or it's not, sorry, unusual for them to be foil. That being said, the choices are really good right now, right? Like, Kalani is used by basically a
Everybody.
lot. I don't want to say all, but a lot of CIS players. Krennic is stapled at almost every Empire list. Leia, same thing with Rebels.
No, I don't use
Yoda,
Leia's no good. I don't use Leia.
Leia's bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's bad.
Better than
apparently
Commander
Leia's
Luke.
bad. I'm the first to know. I don't play Rebels. I assume she was good. And then Yoda, they decided to take a bat to. Oh, maybe that's too much for Nick. They decided to nerf Yoda recently, so he's less common. And then this is like the fourth Chewbacca since I've started playing. It feels like, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of like different art cards. Like I think I have 2 or 3 Grievuses.
Yeah, and two of them are like the same art too.
Sure. Yeah, it's. Don't get me wrong. These are cool. I like them. I dig them. But I just hope they don't change. Right.
No, actually, the funniest thing with the Grievous alt art cards that we got last year is when I started playing Star Wars Deck Builder, I saw Grievous and it was the same art.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you'll see
Yeah,
the
they
art.
share
You'll
a
see the
lot of
art
art.
across. Yeah, you'll see the art
Yeah.
across
That's
the mini
expensive
games.
right there to get
No,
the
I
art.
know, but it's still funny. I'm like, oh look, it's foil Grievous or
Yeah.
fancy Grievous.
It's important to note that the top 4
Yeah, this is what really matters.
they get a set of acrylic objective and condition tokens. Tool of Wars befitting a commander of your skill. So pretty much you're getting acrylic POIs,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty sweet.
condition tokens.
Which are
So
used.
which is
yeah,
just
So condition
POIs.
tokens, as in that are now mostly used as pass tokens, right? Why are they
no,
calling them? Or do they have
those
actual uses?
are for secondary objectives, right?
But the only secondary tokens you need are POIs. I know you drop a token on some of them, but like,
Well, technically, for a lot of the secondaries, you're supposed to mark your unit of what you're picking.
sure,
That's
sure.
that's the token. I believe that's what the condition tokens for your marking your mark targets for your scanners and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, what were traditionally called condition tokens are now officially called asset, or sorry, advantage tokens.
Right.
Like there's actually technically no such thing as a condition token. But obviously this was probably written before the rewrite, so but I'm pretty sure advantage tokens are only used for passes. Because the asset stuff you're talking about uses the old objective tokens.
Which are the same size.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't use them for that, right? But right, the condition tokens are used for the pass pool now. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see what
Yeah.
they look like
I'm
too.
not too thrilled with it, to be honest. Like these acrylic stuff, like I don't know. If it looks cool,
What would you prefer?
for the top 4,
Yeah, for top 4.
That's a good question. I
Well,
don't know.
one thing that is cool about these, and we're in a world right now where we don't even have official cardboard ones. These are technically official, right? So you could use these are official acrylic tokens when everything else won't be. Once we get cardboard, we're technically supposed to use the cardboard, right? Once we get cardboard POIs, we are technically supposed to use cardboard POIs, just like we all use cardboard
Are we?
before.
They've gone out and tweeted like make sure not make sure, but like, oh, we love seeing your really cool POIs where you've put it on bases and you've made it all cool. Like they've said they want to see that.
So that
So
would
I
be
don't think tournament wise.
that'd be a change of direction. That'd be a change of direction, which would also require change to their tournament document with how
Yep.
it's written today.
Okay, yeah, because they've actually really because I
Yeah.
mean if JR is allowed to legally use clear bases, I don't see why we can't use POIs that are different size
because
that are the correct size.
Because POIs are an essential token and they're supposed to be the actual official
You
thing
know what
for
I
the
want to
game.
go on and say is that I feel like AMG has official rules that they're kind of just lax on. It's like jaywalking. Yeah,
No.
Jaywalking
They're
is
not.
legal, by the
Hold
way,
on, hold on.
Huh?
in California.
No.
it's, I know, right?
Wait.
Jaywalking is illegal, right?
AMG
No, it's
is
legal
Oh.
in
AMG is
California.
not lax on them. The TOs are lax on them. Get it correct, JR.
No, I disagree
Get
with
it
you
correct.
100%. Have you ever seen an AMG employee say like, "Oh, we don't like that"?
So
AMG does
but
not let you use
A
anything other than their material on
Have
stream.
they
yes,
on their
came out?
streams.
exactly.
Have they came
Yeah.
out and said that?
No, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
no,
Yes.
they have. Yes.
Yeah.
Where?
It
When?
happened in X-Wing tournaments all the time.
I'm not talking actually. I'm talking Legion.
I
And
know
it's
that I know that
AMG.
I don't know about this year, but last year they definitely told it to a lot of the streamers that were streaming events.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do what?
Yeah.
What
That you
was
had to
what was
use
the
like
case?
official, like that's why like and you tell us at LVO, were you allowed to use your own tokens and stuff?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
use
But
And
everything.
you have Fifth Trooper stuff too for all of your
yeah.
Mhm.
But that's
tokens, right?
LVO. That's LVO. I guarantee you won't see that at Adepticon.
Yeah,
Well,
perhaps.
we'll just have to see. Yeah.
Dang, Jared would have went to Adepticon and nothing would have been legal. He would have just had to take the L and lose all the money.
I bet you I'd go and nothing's gonna happen.
Are you gonna go?
I mean, I want
No, I'm
to.
saying the year he would
I
have went.
always want to. It's just a matter of can
Right.
I?
Yeah, I mean it's in about a month, so
Yeah.
you're running out of time to find that out.
For me, it's if the stars align.
Well, buy fast because those tickets are only going to go up in price.
Would that sour you? Like if you went to Adepticon and they literally said no to your clear bases, no to this, enforcing all the legal stuff. Like, would
I
you
mean,
just
as long
be
as you
done with
check
AMG
it
at
with
that
them
point?
beforehand, right?
Yeah, you just clear it beforehand. You clear it beforehand.
Yeah, just like you would with
I'm
every
saying
like
I'm
just like you
saying
did
if
with
they told him.
LVO.
Yeah.
I'm saying if they told him no, would that sour AMG for you for going forward?
Oh, we're about to get into ARF Troopers, and I'm about to get into a lot more sour stuff about what AMG.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I'm already like ticked off at AMG, but
So do we want to talk about where the tournaments are, or we just want to go straight into ARF Troopers then? Because it sounds like that was a great transition here.
let's finish this off.
All right.
So the grand winner of the GTs get an acrylic round counter, and a grand tournament trophy, which, like, again, I'm not really annoyed that the prizes at the top aren't really that, like, it depends if they look really cool and they're sweet, but like I'd rather all the cool stuff be handed out to everybody that's coming, because that's super awesome that no matter what you're getting cool stuff. I always love.
Whoa, wait, time out. It's not a round tracker, it's a struggle tracker. Isn't that the whole board?
No, it's
Yeah, it's the
acrylic
whole board.
round counter.
Round counter.
Yeah.
Are you looking at the
your shatter
Are you
point.
looking at the shatter point
Oh,
prizes?
I scroll up and down.
That's
scrolled
the
looking
struggle
for stuff.
tracker.
Yeah. Okay, round counter. Yeah, that's kind of whatever.
Yeah, honestly, I always feel like top tournaments, unless it's playing for money, it should always be bragging rights, like a trophy,
Sure.
bragging rights. Yeah,
Sure.
But
that's why you didn't agree with me at the LVO pod, where I'm like, I wanted more prizes, and you're like, I don't really care.
yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong, I want to get all this cool stuff, but bragging rights is bragging rights.
Yep.
But yeah, how do you guys feel about this, Jose? Do you think these are good prizes?
I'm normally cool. Well, see, me and Nick, we play in the fun tournament, so I get prizes regardless. That's why that's why I always say like the lower end seems to be the fun stuff. So prizes are prizes to me. Like it's just getting them is fun. I mean, I don't see a problem with that unless it's like ends up being like how I won all the cool top 8 stuff last year and then it's all irrelevant now. So like that sucks more than anything is having just cardboard that's useless. Like I lame. But as long as they don't, as long as these cards can be used and all this stuff can be used for years to come, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
figured all my other old stuff, I'm gonna frame them because they're not can't use them no more. So
That's
they're still
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What
just
about
would
you?
like to see more tournaments and more tournaments in like our area because like the San Diego thing kind of sucks. And I know we
Yeah,
have
so let's talk about
places
that.
that
Let's move on, right? Anything else with
Well, I was
prizes?
gonna say, how do you feel about that, Rob? How do you feel about the
The
prizes?
prizes, so I mean, I feel like I was pretty clear. Like I think they're okay, but um I don't know. Like I would have liked to see an official round counter. Not round counter. Like the full what's the full board called?
The scoring dashboard, the
scoreboard.
score
Yeah, the
dash, the
scoring dashboard.
scoreboard.
I think that's like a
I
no-brainer.
thought they said they had one at LVO, a full acrylic one.
No,
Not official.
it's I actually got it. I won it. It's like a map.
Yeah,
That's
it's
Oh,
not
not
I mean that's
acrylic.
acrylic.
cool, right? But
Yeah,
that's
It's cool. It is
unofficial,
cool.
right?
Honestly, I
And
like what
I
Nick
would like
has.
it. I think that something that you haven't printed before
Mm.
would make a great choice for this is a prize, right? For maybe it's just the top 8, but like it'd be great because it's like, you know, it
there's
not
going to
only do you get
be
an official version, but it's cool.
there's
Like
I
going to
good
be a
want to have
tokens,
a,
like
mission.
a
POIs.
victory counter. Like
There's a
what?
mission dashboard at Adepticon. That's where you can
Oh,
get
that's
official
where it is. So I
cards.
thought there was one somewhere,
Yeah.
but you have to go to Adepticon for that.
I
So
heard those are like gonna be
Adepticon
stupid
has different
expensive to get though.
Adepticon has different prizes for the ticketing for their the
got
ticket
it.
wall.
Yeah. I'm curious if they put dice on the ticket wall again, like
Oh
last
yeah,
year.
they were. So the ticket. So the Adepticon has all the same stuff plus some stuff.
Oh, cool.
Did they already have all that stuff up already?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
good to know.
I could run through it once we're done with this if you want.
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay.
We'll go over the tournament stuff. I know, Rob, you wanted to talk about that.
What
Yeah,
What
about
about
no,
what
I,
about
what
what
about
about
me and the
what?
prizes? I get to tell about the prizes.
Yeah, go for it.
All
I'm
right.
down with that.
I'm
Yeah,
just
well,
joking. No.
of
No.
course, of course.
I guess
Nick.
probably the only thing is I just want the dice. It's kind of funny. I could care less about any of the cards. I don't want any of them. I just want the
Mm.
dice.
well, isn't that how everyone feels?
Yeah, I just want the dice.
What
So
dice do you need?
I just want any of them. I just want any of them. All of
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
probably saying, I mean, again, acrylic tokens would be sweet, but
So I
dice are
don't
great.
really care for the acrylic tokens because I already have ones I like, right?
I
I
Oh,
want
already
but
to
have. I
according
already
to
have.
Nick from Fresno on the Legion Lads podcast, it's not official, so you're not allowed to use them.
Dodge aims are essential, so those don't count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Words.
You know, probably the one tournament I'm gonna lose is if Nick ever runs a tournament. He's like, "Oh, that stuff's illegal. You're disqualified." All
Just
right.
remember,
So,
if I am judging for the Fresno tournament, Nick, I'm very easy to bribe. So
um,
I told
I
you,
guess
JR, this is my tournament. Judge, disqualify him now.
I guess we're gonna go over.
he actually didn't submit any of his models to the TO, so I'm pretty sure the
True.
TO's not okay with them.
That's true. USA. I figured we just go over the USA ones.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, I'm
No
not
big
driving to
surpri-
Canada.
No big surprises. No big surprises on them.
Why? But why
I
aren't
mean,
there more
okay, so here are the
closer?
ones within driving distance, like arguable driving distance, right? I mean, this is outside of what I would drive, but you have one in Washington, and that's August 22nd, right?
Yep.
Then you've got what?
That's hella
Let's see.
far.
I mean, it is. How far is Mesa? I don't even know where Mesa, Arizona. Oh, that's not even Legion, so it doesn't count. Let's see. Oh, Phoenix, Arizona, 412-25. That's not bad, right?
Phoenix? That's a long
Phoenix,
drive.
it's about as long as San Diego.
No,
No.
no.
I've
That's
actually
not
driven to Phoenix. So
longer.
I feel like I think San Diego is much farther than it
Yeah,
actually is.
that is a very different drive.
All right. Yo, Phoenix is like what, 12 hours, huh?
It's not that long, but it's long.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up today. And then of course you've got Vegas, right? So that's January next year. And then
That's 6 hours.
yeah. Actually,
Okay.
I don't see
SoCal on here.
SoCal on here.
SoCal's on the bottom. It's to be determined.
No,
If
it's
you keep
not.
scrolling
No, it's
down,
not.
No,
yeah.
it's not. They took it
No,
off.
it's not.
Oh
They
my
took it off.
God.
Did they
You're
take
right.
off SoCal?
They took it off.
It is. It's
SoCal's not.
gone. It's gone.
So there's literally none
Wow.
in the most populous
Wow.
state in the United States does not get a GT. Okay,
Guess what,
Breaking
as good
boys?
as.
Las Vegas 2026 GT coming right here.
So seriously, like our only
Huh.
options for driving to a GT are Vegas, and if we want to do long drives to
Washington,
Arizona
Phoenix.
and Washington. Like, I don't know. I feel like we need one in California. Anywhere.
But
Somewhere I
why
can
don't
drive
we
to.
have
could-
one though?
we could go
That's the
to-
question.
We could go to Bellevue because I have family in Richland and in Spokane, so I could just crash there and then go to the Bellevue.
You
Okay,
can
so
or we can too.
Well,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna
you guys
say.
do.
And plus,
That's
you're
what I
saying this
said, we-
publicly on a podcast, so
Yeah, but I mean, I'm so shocked.
He's
they
just
took off
doxing his
SoCal.
family.
Yeah. So I heard from an MCP podcast listener. They did mention something that they re-released this and took things off. I didn't even think to check that SoCal was gone.
wow.
Wow,
That's man.
so
AMG,
lame.
come on, something in California.
So
all right?
why once again what's the purpose of like why don't we have more in California or A1 in California now? Like I'm,
Because they
I'm
want a lot
struggling
of
to
people
Well,
there.
so
We don't have a
okay.
con. We
I was
don't
gonna
have
say,
a con.
frankly, there's not a big enough con.
We don't have a con. Look at all these events: Adepticon, Lone Star, NashCon, Gen Con, Nova. Most of these are
I
large.
thought SoCal was
cons.
pretty big though.
It
Not
is.
for Legion.
It's not for Legion though. But it is strange that it's
And Bay Area was
not-
pretty decent, I thought.
Bay Area, I feel like probably should get one, but again, their Legion tournaments haven't been that big.
Mhm.
Like, I've been
Let's
going, and they're
change
like
that,
16,
boys.
and that's good
Yeah.
for a local tournament, but that's not really like, LVO size or Lone Star size. I mean, there are 55 people tournaments in like Indianapolis that don't get GT status. So
Yeah.
I'm so bummed right now.
So
yeah,
so maybe
I was
maybe it's
just
not
telling my
maybe,
wife about SoCal too. That I might
maybe
wanna
it's
go
not
do
maybe
that.
it's
I was
not
telling
maybe
you,
it's not over
Jared.
though. Maybe it's not over though because remember when this document came out, SoCal wasn't on it, and then
but why would
got
you take
added
it off
later.
and then add it back on? Like,
I mean, you never know. You never know. It got
Could it be
added.
the-
It got
could it
added
be
late last year.
Could it be
so
SoCal just don't want none of it?
I doubt that.
no.
But could it be?
Maybe.
Maybe
Like
they
if they don't want to be
No, they. If anything, I bet SoCal wants. If anything, AMG overextended with their price support, and they had to pull back. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know how many people were at SoCal last year either, so
It
maybe that
wasn't-
was it.
It wasn't a lot. No.
Okay.
But it's still. I mean, it's still a.
So
a
again,
large
Operation
venue.
Let's make VetFest the biggest tournament in California for Legion. Like if we can get 32 people to show up from around the state, right?
I believe
it'll be
Nick.
great.
happen.
And then
I
next
believe.
year, I believe.
dream.
No, I believe because
We also have Edward's
there's
tent.
people
Remember
in
that.
San
He offered
Fran.
his tent.
There's people in Sacramento. There's people in Bakersfield.
You
there's
have to
people
get
in
the
LA.
other game systems too. Look at all of these GTs. They have all three game
So
systems. pretty
Salt Lake
much
City
all
has
of them.
That's
only
true.
MCP.
That's not true.
Atlantic
Austin, Texas
Ocean-
only has
Atlantic-
Star Wars Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
I'm saying most though. Most. Some of these don't, but the ones that don't, I bet you go look at their numbers. They have big numbers at their tournament. The
Well,
ones
that's-
that don't have
I
all
actually-
three.
I don't know. It kind of looks like looking at all of them. I haven't done the math, but it kind of looks like there's more that don't have all three than have all three.
Yeah,
I don't know. But that's
No,
that's
I
like
actually
preliminary.
I sent that on the Discord. They most had all three. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Uh,
Salt Lake City.
Well, and I guess
Only has
I'll
Christ
I'll
protocol.
amend that statement in that most had all three when we looked at this first time. I haven't looked at this again, so who knows what's changed? Who knows how different it is?
Oh man. Okay.
that
Oh,
sucks. I'm down now,
AMG.
dude.
Another
So
strike.
well, so here's the thing though. Here's the thing. This actually means that we need to go to SoCal even more so
Sure.
to get the numbers up.
Sure.
To get the numbers up so it can be a GT every year.
Sure.
Well, the lads travel, 5, 6, 7 deep, so we're bringing a good chunk if we all go.
If we all go. So
Well, Dallin said he was down to go. I'm pretty sure.
without promising all this, right? Without promising we can go. I think it's time to move
Daniel
on. 'Cause we
was
need to talk
down.
about Arfs because I have some things to say.
Daniel was down, so we got. And I know Roman would go if he can make it. Like, yeah, we would have 7 deep. I'm willing to bet we would.
All right.
All right, do you want me to touch on the Adepticon prizes just real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Terrible. I'm kidding.
all the same stuff, except they have the mission dashboard. They do have acrylic tokens: aim, standby, dodge,
Oh, that's
surge.
where it is. Okay, they had
They
it.
have acrylic silhouettes, set of two. Then have all the foil units, the all dark cards, the dice. Then this is the kind of neat thing. Then they have plastic stat cards. So they have plastic stat cards of Luke,
Like the
here,
AAT saber.
probably, yeah, Luke, Hero of the Rebellion, Dark Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, Obi-Wan, and
Oh, they get a
General
lot of extra
Grievous.
prizes.
So
Who
the
was,
four plastic stat
who was the
cards.
last one you said, Nick?
General Grievous.
That's the
Another
plastic
General
stat
Grievous.
card. The plastic stat card is the only thing I've ever lost that I felt upset
Yeah.
because JR beat me to get it.
What is
Now,
a
And
stat
then
card, by the way? What's
it's
the
a
difference?
so it's the character card, but it's plastic, like it's a
yeah,
Yeah.
credit card.
yeah,
And so
Oh,
yeah.
that's sick.
when me and JR played in the tournament, the winner got the plastic stat card of the AAT with the saber on the back, and then they got the full art with the AAT and the foil on the back, on the AAT and the saber on the back. JR beats me. Roman hands him both cards. Roman hands me a full art AAT saber, and then JR looks at me, he's like, "Poor guy," and handed me the cardboard one. So I had two full art AAT sabers, and he took the
So
one thing I wanted.
now, Jose, here's the most important news about DotaCon: the MCP stat cards.
No, 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 no.
Not to derail us too
Are they
fast.
plastic?
No,
Are
no,
they
no,
I
no,
got.
no.
plastic?
Let's move on.
Wait,
Arfs.
no,
Are they
wait.
plastic?
Plastic stat cards: Cyclops, Rogue, Gambit.
Oh my god.
Jose's going to
Hey,
Adepticon.
I was
hey,
upset
Jose,
because if they're
Jose,
doing
this is
plastic
why
gambit, that means he's not
SoCal's not
getting
on
an
the list no
update.
more. Focus, focus.
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
sorry.
Arfs.
All right, Arfs,
Arfs.
Arfs,
Arfs.
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 Arf. Hey, wait, on the second, whoever saw the Super Bowl, how disturbing and awesome was that Seal Mountain Dew commercial? Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, I caught
No, I
it.
I
didn't watch.
I saw
I didn't
that.
watch the
Look it
Super
up.
Bowl.
It's the stuff made of nightmares. Type in Seal Baja Blast Mountain Dew
That
commercial.
halftime show was
It's
amazing.
it's
I love the
Seal's
halftime
face, the
show.
singer Seal on the Seal's body,
That's
doing
some
Kiss
creepy
from a
stuff.
Rose, but
It
Baja
was it
Blast.
was interesting to see.
It was
That's for sure.
terrifying, dude.
Okay, all right.
All right.
We're gonna move on to ARF
Arf.
Troopers.
Arf.
I'm gonna hold my opinion to the very last. So I want your guys' opinion on this. Okay, we're gonna go over the stats and then we'll get everyone's opinion.
Start
So,
with Rob first. He's gonna have the most
ARF
controversial
Troopers are gonna be 4 in a squad. They're 1 health, courage 2, red saves. They don't surge up or down. They're movement of 2. Their melee is a black, and their DC 15A blaster rifle is range 1 to 4, and it's 1 black. They have an action to observe 2, scout 1, low profile, and unhindered. The upgrades that come with them are the Jedi Guardian, which is for clone troopers only special forces. That gives you charge, a leader, and sidearm range, which pretty much just means you can only use a saber.
He has no weapon attack basically.
Which
No
is
range
so
attack.
interesting that they put that on there. They could have just said,
No, it thematically makes sense. Thematically,
sure.
thematically.
It has a lightsaber, which is Pierce 1, Impact 2, Melee, and it's 2 red for 22 points.
Which, again, okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. Then they have the ARF Trooper RPS, which is 24 points. It's pretty much a RPS rainbow. 2 to 4, cumbersome, Impact 2. Then there's, which was interesting, for 26 points for the personnel slot, you get 2 ARF Troopers miniatures and Cache Surge 1. The icons they have is I want to say the leader icon, the heavy icon, the personnel, comms, training, and the grenade.
hmm
So, Jose, man, how do you feel about this unit? Are you excited?
When I started on them, when I first got the information, I was like Panic City, like this is overpowered and the next greatest thing. But then as I started like calming down from the initial hype, like the only thing you're buying this box for is the Jedi.
Sure.
You're buying it because it's gonna go in your arcs. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, so
And
you
then
went from like the two opposites. You're like, this is 2 OP to this is complete
Well,
trash tier.
I looking at it, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're gonna get rid of arcs and bring non reliable units, like in terms of getting tokens, because to fit these in, you're gonna have to take away from your core because your core is expensive. These guys are gonna be pretty expensive. If you're gonna take reliable tokens out of your GAR, like you're dumb. I can't put it any other way. Cachet Surge is not reliable. Um, two extra guys. I mean, it's a black dice. I've thrown plenty of black dice to be like, this sucks. Um, I'm just observe being in action. That's crazy. Um,
It's always been the action though. Observe.
well, let me double check. Are you
There's some.
sure?
I think Gideon and somebody else have it
I
as a
think
free action.
I want to say Cody maybe.
Yeah,
Hold
Cody
on.
has it as a free action.
Yeah, Cody has observed too.
Yeah.
So free action. So for me, it's like if they would have been the observed free action, then okay, because they can generate half an aim that can somewhat be used to effect. But probably why they didn't is because it's a half an aim token for an ARC trooper. So I get it, but I just completely don't see the point in anything that they're doing just for the fact that even range 4, it's black dice at range 4. Why would you waste an aim on that when you can give the aim to ARC troopers that are going to be charging in or firing off like stupid amounts of dice, like compared to just 4 black? I mean, you like I said, as much as it sucks, the rocket launch is useless to me. The addition of cumbersome on the RPSs is just on all RPSs across the board useless. Makes it not want to be taken.
Mm.
You can't shoot and move or move and shoot whatever. You can't like
Well, you can shoot
scout,
and move. You can't move
but
and shoot.
you can't, yeah. So scouting and trying to get a cheeky shot, you can't do that. Like it's excess weight. Two troopers. Eh, it is what it is. There's 2 more black dice. You're buying it for the Jedi and you're putting it in the arcs, and we're not even sure if that's going to be great. That's my opinion.
How about you, Nick?
I feel like they forgot to release this unit in 2023.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks. It looks like this unit was for the old Legion. That's what it really seems like. This would have been great in old Legion. This range 4 unit that can shoot throw this dice and be hardy with a low profile and a red save and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's what it seems like. That's what it looks like to me. This looks like a unit that was designed for the old game. It just doesn't seem like it's gonna really affect too much. And that's kind of because I mean arcs are just better, right? It would be different if clones didn't have a better option, right? If Empire got this. So I guess if this was an Empire unit, this would be great, right? I mean, you still maybe wouldn't be super happy, but you'd be like, hey, this is a
No,
better
they'd be happy.
option.
They'd be happy.
This is a better option for us than what we have now. But yeah, I agree with a lot of what Jose said. Like, yeah, the rocket launcher is useless. I mean, Impact 2, that doesn't do anything. I think Impact 2 is almost worthless now, unless you
Yeah.
actually go against a high armor, something with high armor. The card for 2 guys, two extra minis is cool. Again, it's raising the model count of units, which I worry about. Now we're seeing like, is 6 gonna just be standard for a special forces unit, which I do worry about that becoming the standard for our units. That's my worry. It's getting too big as far as the unit count. Yeah, observe. Why would you ever use that as one of your
Should have been free.
actions?
It should have been free.
Well, free is probably too much, right? But
But then
why?
they have a
But
job. You're paying for a job.
I guess true. I guess true. Yeah, then they have something they could do. But yeah, why would you ever do that action? Now, red save with low profile, correct me if I'm wrong, we've never seen that
No.
before, right? So
Yeah.
that's brand new. I mean, that seems like they're pretty tanky for that. I mean, that's taking 1 every time
But
off
we
for
have seen
cover.
armor 1, and
We
this
have.
is
It's kind of like that.
effectively the same thing.
Kind of,
Not like,
yeah.
yes, there are downsides to the armor 1 and there are
Hmm.
downsides to the low profile, but like
Yeah.
they're like the downsides are going to hit about the same amount, I would argue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not like no, by no means is this a bad unit. I think this unit is perfectly fine, and you could play this unit, but
There's better
arcs
stuff.
are just better. But I mean, I'd run them if I played Gar.
that doesn't mean much.
Yeah, you run weird stuff, man. You'd
well,
run them with the rocket
yeah,
All right,
launcher.
I've been
Yeah.
wanting to talk. Okay,
go for it,
so
Ron.
your bit about this would be good in Empire is so funny to me because I compared these to Death Troopers immediately. Same slot, same stuff, right? Um, for less points, you get about the same EHP, right? Because it's 6 models versus 4, surge versus non-surge, right? So the EHP is the same, right? Ish, not identical. The offense is a little worse on these guys compared to Deaths, but they're always range 4, and they have Scout 1 just built in. And that low profile is great, but again, like I actually think this unit would probably be good in Empire, but I think you're saying that this doesn't fit the game is completely correct. The stuff that's really good right now is shooting 2 dice per mono. Like period. Like of
Yeah.
all of the good stuff we've seen, most of it is because it is shooting 2 dice per model, and most of the time they are a range 2 fighter. Now, I do think there is room in a list for some range 4 units, right? Like in Yar, maybe having 1 or 2 range 4 units that can kind of sit on a back point and just plink at the enemy would be great. Does anybody see what I'm about to say next? Because what are these actually competing with? They're not competing with arcs. They're competing with commandos,
Yeah.
which are in the same, like, not slot. You could run both. If you really wanted to play a range 4 Gar list, go for it. It's not going to go well, but it might. It might actually be good. Who knows, right? But like, I wouldn't put my money on it being good, because range 4 right now is just overcosted. Because the benefits of getting that range 1 or that turn 1 shot are good, but you can't guarantee that you're going to get that turn 1 shot. And then turn 2, okay, maybe you're getting that shot turn 2 instead of turn 1, and they're not getting a shot. But by turn 3, it doesn't matter. And by turn 3, 4, and 5, the stuff that can shoot you with 2 dice per model versus your 1 dice per model just is going to obliterate your army. It's
The
what I've
fact
run
that they
into
don't have a
Empire.
range 2 option like the arcs used to is crazy to me. I feel like they
Yeah.
should have had a range 2 blaster pistol.
And I do want to make a comment about Observe too, because it's a range 3, it's a range 3 action. So you want to be in range 4 to shoot and then range 3 for this other action. So
Yeah,
like
that's so weird. Same thing with Cody.
it's
Cody
an
has that problem
anti-synergy,
too.
right? I do like how they have permanent range 4, right? Like playing Death Troopers, the most annoying thing is like, I get that turn 1 shot off, great. Turn 2, I probably have no shot now because the enemy is making me, or the opponent, not enemy, but the opponent is making me choose, do I want to move with them or do I want to recover and shoot with them? Because you can't usually get both unless the opponent is just like W king into you, right? So having permanent range 4 on them is great. And I do think that that's something good, but like they're just not getting anything else in return. They're not a token generator for your army either. They're gonna eat up tokens, but they're not gonna give anything out. And again, they're competing with commandos who are the same cost and who can sit on a point more effectively than the ARFs ever could, and who are probably also doing more damage than the ARFs are over the course of the game. So like, and again, they have the range 2 option if they need it. So
Yeah.
I agree with Nick. It's like this should have been here
Yeah.
2 years ago. It would have been fine. I do think it's okay now. I just don't think it's going to be game breaking. And I don't think it's bad either. It's not a riot trooper. So I think it's a fine release, frankly. I don't think every release needs to be sleeper cells, power creep to the 9s, buy it or you can't play the game, right? I don't think
it's a good thing it's not breaking the game, right? It's not going to just, be another crazy unit like Sleeper Cell. This is going to be spammed all over the place and just throw too many dice for the points that it costs, right? So that's probably a good thing. And who knows? We're getting we're gonna get new advantages, right? In just a couple months, we're gonna get possibly we haven't done all the time, but possibly faction specific advantages that maybe these guys become more useful, right?
or even I don't even think it's advantages. I think if we get more objectives
and more
that
objectives,
make you want to stay back, or maybe
Mhm.
have a clear defender, like asymmetrical stuff that has a defender who wants to sit and you have to run into and somebody trying to attack who needs to push. Like
They wanted
maybe
to get
that'll
away
make a
from that
difference.
though.
I know they
Like
do.
they've said that.
I know they do. But right now, the entire game is close range. And that's the other thing making these close range units better, is because they are leaning into what the game wants you to do. The ARFs are not leaning into what the game wants you to do. Can I see people running a single ARF to add on to their list to maybe give it more flavor? Sure. Can I see people running them with commandos and with Cody to do like a range 4, I'm going to sit back and shoot you list? Sure. They're just not playing the game the way it was meant to be played. They're
So
playing against the game. And I know that because I've done that in this version as Empire. Because that's how Empire feels right now. Is the entire army feels like I am playing against the game. Or most Empire lists, right? There are lists that don't have to, but like there are many that do. And so yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm sure they're going to sell a lot of boxes though for those Jedi. Do we
So
want to talk about Jedi and Arcs, or
that's
do
a
you
good
want
well,
thing
let me.
though. Hold on, real
or do you
quick.
want to
That's a
talk about
good
your opinion first, JR?
that's a good thing though. If they abuse the Jedi and the arcs, then that just means one of two things. They're gonna get banned from being taken in arcs, or the arc price point per unit is gonna go up. So if
Down.
they abuse it, I mean, no. If this
Jedi are
unit
cheaper
does
than commanders.
if this unit ends up being amazing in arcs, the arc price is gonna go up like points because you're gonna have to nerf arc somehow. So it's either their price goes up to make it more of a you can't do this, or an outright you can't take them in your list. Like
So
you can't
I
take them in that
think
upgrade.
I think ARF is perfectly fine. I'll be honest with you. My gripe with ARF Trooper is one, the RPS, because cumbersome, I feel like it's such a stupid keyword in this version of the game because everything needs to be mobile. Just get rid of it altogether because you're only going to be shooting it
Ooh,
like half the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Um,
I don't like it, but I don't know if getting rid of it entirely is the play.
like what if you're
You're
designing the
terrified of an
game,
RPS?
yeah, if you're designing the game to be more mobile, then cumbersome is just a bad keyword that nobody should run in a competitive list, right?
Yeah, and
Sure.
get rid of stationary too. Get rid of that keyword as well.
And
Sure,
plotting.
sure. I want to see a dish moving.
Mike
You
Dish
know?
should be able to move.
Yeah.
Dish should be able to move.
It's on
Because
rollers.
you're right. Nick's right. Like if you have 3 dishes in your list, like that's not fun. You're just gonna stay in deployment. Speaking of which, how do they get
But
on
it
the
has
board?
range city on the middle POIs
Oh, they
though.
have
I mean,
fortified
Prepare
positions.
prepare positions. Prepare
Yeah.
positions.
So here's my thing about the ARF troopers. Other than the cumbersome, if you put in a captain and then let's say the rocket didn't have cumbersome, and then the 2 guys, that's 10 dice at range 4, which is nothing to sneeze about. But at the same time,
it's a lot of points though.
sure, it is a lot of points.
Shit, that's
But
a lot of points.
if you can, what I see with ARF troopers is a support unit for the rest of the army, because what do clones like to do? They like to generate a lot of tokens. They have the observe action, so you could technically
It's
observe an enemy.
146 points
Yeah,
Mhm.
on
don't get me
one
wrong.
unit.
I think
For a
that's
half aim.
I think it's fine because
How much is your Asajj in your list right now, Jose?
well he looks that up.
Like
I think it's
160.
fine
Like,
because the reason is that you can observe 2 a unit, and then let's say you don't get that a good shot off, but then the rest of your army could use the observes and then use the green tokens that they generated by themselves, right? The problem
I
here,
don't know.
155.
So that's 9 points cheaper than Asajj. Kid it
yeah,
out.
but see, the problem here is that they have a Gar has a broken unit that AMG refuses to fix, and it annoys the living fire out of me, and that's arcs.
Yes.
Arcs are so damn broken that like
But they're not.
why
You
would
know
you
what though? You know
would you
what
want
though?
to take
But
anything
that's
else?
mirroring the sleeper
not
cells.
as good as
Sleeper
sleeper
cells just as
cells.
broken.
No, I think they're
They're
No,
not as
they're
good as
not.
sleeper
They're not.
cells.
Not as,
they're
not as
I'm
they
not
have.
Sleeper
saying they're
cells
better than
are
sleeper cells, but I'm saying for the price that they are in Gar, they're cheap. They're 2 points cheaper than ARF troopers, and they get charge, impervious, scale, scout 2, sharpshooter 1, tactical 1. Like, there's totally bias here, and so like I just wish they would heavily nerf ARC troopers like to the garbage, trash can.
Yeah. And for the record, you can run a 12 act 501st list with Anakin, 4 arc strike teams, 4 arcs, 3 with Jedi, and 2 clone commandos. 12 acts. So we're
Yeah.
back to running 12 act 501st. And it's even better now, arguably.
Yeah, because now you can put which
Because
also
now the
like,
arcs have Pierce
well, my
in melee.
gripe on that is that I'm shocked that a Jedi only has 1 health. Why doesn't it have 2 health?
Yeah.
It should
He's
have
just a
2
he's
health.
just a guardian, just a
But
lowly
it's a
guardian.
leader.
What
It's
about
a leader, so
what
he
about
dies last
Fives and
anyways.
Echo and all that? They have 2 health. Nothing special about them.
Okay. So this is where you get into
They
the
provide
fact
a
that we
lot
are still
more.
trying to somehow replicate, like the movie feel, right? And so like fives is just a normal clone, but they're a main character, so they have to have that main character energy somehow, right?
Yeah, this Guardian's wearing a red shirt, so he's not gonna make it.
This Guardian is like this
I
Guardian
bet they didn't get that
dies
joke,
for
Nick.
sure
They didn't get that joke.
on Execute Order 66. Like they're dead, right? Without even a problem. So I don't know.
So I'm just honestly, I think ARFs are like fine, but they're just being overshadowed by ARC troopers.
Right,
Sure.
and
So
again, they don't
do you
have
see
to be
them
OP
hitting the
to be.
table?
What's that?
Do you see them hitting the table in any
No,
way, shape, or
not
form?
as long as ARCs are this powerful for the cost that they are at, you won't see them on the table. You'll see them in fun lists that people just want to run, right? But if
So
ARCs continue to be this cheap, nah.
so to me, it's a Rexstar issue. Rexstar to Arcstar is that when they try to hammer out Rexstar, all the players did was hammer out upgrades and stuff, and then reformat it to fit and became Arcstar. So I feel like even if you nerf Arcs, guess what? Arcs are still you nerf their points, they're still so good. Their players just gonna cut shit everywhere else to keep the Arcs in there. The
That's
Arc, like it's just gonna be Rexstar
look at
Arcstar over again.
Commandos. Commandos went up in points, and now instead of seeing 3, you're seeing 2, right?
No,
And
you're seeing
people
2 because of 501st.
Yeah,
can you only have 2 in 501st? Oh yeah,
Correct.
they did
yeah.
change that. But
Yeah.
you even see them in non-501st list. I've seen 2.
Okay.
But yeah, like, and
You
that's
just
another
shave. You're
thing.
just gonna shave one of the arcs off. Like
But
in a
like,
501st list, you just shave an arc and a strike team, and then there's your points difference, and then you might have more points to buff
But
everything
okay,
else.
but getting rid of 2 units is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Let's be clear here.
Yeah.
Cutting out cutting out the 2 extra units on all of those Gar lists when they became like 150 points more expensive or whatever, that made a massive difference. Because
I think
now, like the problem right now isn't even Gar, right? The
so.
problem right now is Rebels.
What?
Because
But the
sleeper
thing-
cells
What?
are
Oh my
insanely
gosh.
OP. They are better than arcs
No,
for
they are
cheaper,
not.
for 10 points
Oh
cheaper,
my
or
gosh.
But
9
my
points
thing,
cheaper.
That's so
my thing with
crazy.
Gar has always been, my thing with Gar has always been, even in Old Legion, I've done it. You can run 11, 12 acts in Gar because you can, and I've done it. Jared's seen my list that generated a bazillion freaking reliable tokens that he couldn't shoot through. He ended up just having to melee everything because that's the only way he could pierce anything down. I'm saying that you can. The fact that the what the extra 1,000 points did was just give Gar an extra layer of icing on top of their icy goodness already. I don't see it.
Sure, but like arcs aren't
If
contributing.
you took an arc and an arc strike off of a 501st list, I bet you that list is still gonna kick ass. Like, and it's still
Sure,
gonna
but
do
it's
good.
2 entire units.
But it's fun units. Like they don't even
No,
need
they're
them to be good.
not.
So
Whenever
you're
you
saying
take
that
off
you're saying
2
a 12 act
Jose,
arc list?
Jose, I'll put it this way. If I
Mhm.
brought a list that was 1,150 points and you had a list that was 1,000 points, would you say that's fair for you?
It depends on the unit. Like I said, you don't need the. I'm telling you,
Okay,
Gar
okay,
has
let me bring a
never.
list
Gar
of
has
bad
never needed.
units, but I get 200
Gar.
extra points.
We
All right, I only play
we
bad units. You can even decide what the bad units are. I'm telling you, 200 points.
22 rebel lit 22 you activation rebel list got shredded. So it doesn't matter if you're bringing a lot of bad units. They're bad units. My point
I wouldn't say he
is
got shredded. He
the
lost to
extra
what?
two acts.
Just JR?
The extra 2 acts. No, this wasn't Jared. Those Jared. Jared faced a 17. He faced
It was the same guy.
smaller. Yeah, but the one where he got shredded was 22 acts.
Okay, so then didn't he only lose in the finals of that other tournament?
My thing is Gar having 11 and 12 acts is just icing on the cake of what they're already doing. It's just an extra
Dude, no,
arc
it's a force
sniper shot.
multiplier.
It's an
Every extra act,
arc
especially
sniper
in Gar,
shot.
makes a difference.
I think
Man, you should have played Gar back in the day, and you'd understand where I'm getting at,
I
bro.
think
What?
Sleeper
Okay,
cells-
okay. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I think
Jose,
sleeper. Well, okay,
You're not
hold-
going to make
go
a
ahead.
point, Rob. So continue, Jar.
Hold on. Okay, let's not.
I'm
get
talking to an
crazy,
Empire player. I
but
should have known better.
Sleeper Cell and Arcs are really good, and I think they both need the nerf hammer. I think Arc is slightly still better than Sleeper Cells, only because
are we gonna do this? I'm down to do this.
only because they can share tokens. That's huge, right?
Sure.
You spend dodges, and like that's the advantage I think they have over Sleeper Cell. And Sleeper Cell really wants to get the first shot off, right? Arcs can take a hit, right? Depending if they got a lot of tokens they could generate and use from the
So
other people.
okay. So here's my counter. Sleeper Cell can hide behind buses,
Sure.
which I know the buses will die, but
Sure.
if you are killing a bus, you are wasting shots because that is at most like 100 points. It is
Right.
dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot more. It like always takes more effort to kill than its points value. And so they can hide behind a bus. They have tactical still, just
Right.
like the Arcs, so they're still just as good. But they also have nimble, so they are always dodging at least one thing, and they get free dodges just for moving around. They are also
Well,
right
they
now
don't.
only 75 points. A current arc before the Jedi Guardian shows up is let's see,
64.
what is that? 94 points.
Are you putting the Guardian in them?
If you okay, so if you just so 94 points with the commander, if you're doing naked, 64 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
now
So,
you're talking about the difference between 8 dice, no surging, and yes, I know you have token sharing,
so that's
but
the
8
point.
dice,
And
no
red
surging,
saves.
and
That's
12 dice with surging.
but that's
And red
that's
saves though.
that's the
And
point. Like,
charge.
you could take arcs just naked, and they benefit defensively more because of the sharing token.
Sure, but
The
you're talking 9 points more to get 4 extra dice.
sure, but like
And arguably you're about as good defense, not as about as good, but you are still really good defensive because you have nimble and you get free dodges.
okay, the way I look at
Like
it
sleeper
is,
cells are so much better than arcs are right now.
I like
It's not even
to me it's
arguable.
like a slight margin. I'm only
I
putting a
think
slight
you're
margin
probably
because
the only one
they
making
both
that
need a
take, man.
nerf hammer. Because like if you shoot at Supercell, a lot of them die faster than you were to shoot at arcs, right? Even though there's less arcs because of the defensive tech.
Sure. Like
Yeah.
defensive tech as in they
It,
have a surge they can grab.
yeah. And the white saves. I think that's where I think that's where JR is coming from, at
Yeah.
least like, if I'm gonna put myself in JR's shoe, when JR sees sleeper cell across the table, he at least knows I can kill that unit.
Right.
He knows they're going to kill things, but he knows I can kill that unit. When he looks at arcs across the table, he's not sure if he can kill that unit when he shoots at it. Because not only did the tech, but a red save has a better chance to saving out than the white save.
We're talking like 12% better, right?
But
But
again,
that's a
it's
big
better,
difference.
versus 33%.
That's a
again,
big difference.
Rob, it's just very marginal better. That's it. Like I don't disagree with you that supercells are amazing. Like I think they need the nerf hammer. I also think arcs need the nerf hammer. But again, it's pretty much saying that who's better at what doing. I don't know, man. I just think they're really, really good, and it's very, very annoying. Like the releases of the Crab and Aquas, and even the Arfs that are coming out, I feel like they're just perfect. They're just fine for what the game needs and want, right? Other than slight minuscule problems, um, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at EHP here, and like the arcs without anything have 12, and the sleepers have 18. So like, I feel like you guys are giving too much, and that's before, by the way, you talk about nimble versus no nimble, right? Like, there's having 2 extra minis in that. Sorry, 3 extra minis in that squad makes a massive difference.
But see, okay, so like the way I look at it is an overview of the whole entire army. Like, yes,
Okay,
supercells
so
have the bus, can hide behind it and everything, but it's all now you're talking positioning, right? Guess what's gonna kill supercells faster than arcs? Rebel commandos, right? With their high velocity, right? So there goes that plan. And then usually want to run commandos with arc troopers. So it's all about who hits
You
first.
mean Gar commandos? You said rebel commandos.
Oh,
I was like
Gar,
rebels and Gar.
my
What?
bad. Gar commandos. So I just think they have better ways to deal with things. Gar does. And again, the clone trooper keyword. It's you got to tack that on. You can't take that away from them. They're gonna have tokens to share.
oh, I just
Massive
realized
aim, some
I had
tactical.
the wrong math up for them. So ignore that they have higher EHP. They don't. I'm like, that seems way too high. And then I looked again. I'm like, oh yeah, it is wrong.
Um,
In my spreadsheet.
anyways, you're both right in that they're so overpowered that it's ridiculous and they need a nerf. That's it, pretty much.
I think the sleeper cells are fine.
No, no.
I'm just
No.
joking. No,
No, no, no.
they're
People
not.
people are yeah, no. Sleepers are too good, but we're not here to talk about them today. Like
Anyways, ARFs, I feel like this is what they should be at currently. Like, I mean, they got low profile, which is something we never seen. They can shoot 10 dice at range 4, which something we never seen. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see if somebody comes to play with them. As long as arcs are so darn cheap, then it doesn't even matter. But anyways, boys, moving on. We got a little touch update on our games. We won't go too long into them. Nick,
Oh, we're not
do you?
talking about aquas and
Yeah,
crabs?
let's just talk about the
Oh,
units.
okay. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. We can talk about it.
Okay.
Well, then
We'll
let's
save
talk about the
games.
experience. Well, Jose, go ahead and how do you like them, man? Will you talk about the crabs first?
So I think the crabs are good. For what they bring is an I feel is an enabler for the list because before crabs came out, you really didn't have a way of scouting anything up other than Grievous's two pip, which you have to take a wound to do. You get that take a wound, get that free action, get that free move, and then go from there. But what the crabs do is they enable you to scout units like Magnas, scout units like Dooku, Grievous, Ventress, stuff like that. That gives you a head up in positioning as well as provide those units like heavy cover. Um, I'm still toying around with how I want to run them. Not thrilled with their double blaster gun. I know you're a fan of naked, which is it's a flavor for sure, not a flavor for me. I like the idea of the long gun just because the scout, a single move, and the range of that gun is you could pretty much hit almost anything on their back line, almost anything. Granted, you got sight and things that, in the way and stuff like that. But just, yeah, just having scout and not like on units that you never had before just adds a different flavor to, or enables you to do things that you couldn't do before. And we've seen scout has become such a big part of New Legion that they made us pay a tax to just bring it on, to bring it period as an upgrade. So having a red save unit, surges up that has a big base that can bring people with them and have a heavy cover stapled onto whatever's behind it. I think it's good. I've in my testing, I've been really impressed with it. Um, and it's just that big base just helps you so much when it comes to POIs and stuff. Like just being able to just slam on things or even sprinting into like a melee because they actually have a good I think it's a good melee. It's it's a two red, a black, and a white impact two pierce one. Like it's massive. Like they're impacting you from across the map or they're impacting you in melee, and I mean people could say, that might be a little expensive, but for what they do, what they bring, I think it's a solid unit, and I think that it's one of those units where we're gonna have to wait to see what else can be done with them than right now what everybody's trying to do, which is just scout something that's gonna be more aggro than them and work from there.
See, I totally disagree with you. I don't know what it is about them. I just don't like them because you're this. I don't think there's anything in CIS that you want to scout up. Like, don't get me wrong, scouting is fine for a lot of things. Like, it's cool to scout up Dooku and Grievous and all them, but like they're scouting and then double moving potentially in turn one, right? Um, but I just don't think there's really anything you want to do with that on turn one.
B2s? You don't have to
V
take that
V
wound
two
from
V
Grievous.
two sure, but they're not shooting on turn one. Like to me, if your unit is scouting, it's shooting on turn one. If
I
it's
bring the I bring the I bring the anti-cover gun, so I'm shooting on turn one.
sure, sure, and like I just think they're so expensive for their cost. I think they should be lower than what they are now, because like
No. Are
right
you
now they're
kidding me?
right
You're
now they're
wild,
with
bro.
You
the
no.
cheapest program they're 73, and that's no weapon. Then if you put in the twin blaster one, that's what 70 what's
I
that's five 78, right?
I
So
think they're good, right? I think that they are
hold on, just 1 second.
go.
An ATRT naked is 60 points.
ATRT's white saves.
This
No, no,
thing
no,
will
no.
Red.
shred
This
an
is this is
ATRT.
GAR. GAR is red saved,
Oh,
and if you put the cheapest gun on it, it is now 70 points.
well, you can't compare anything to a GAR unit. That's
Well,
just silly.
that's just wild to me though.
But
That
nobody's
they have
bringing that
one extra
ATRT
health.
though. Why
They
are they
have
going to bring that ATRT when they bring commandos? Makes sense.
see
Nobody's bringing an ATRT, bro.
see, but what I'm saying is ATRT is cheaper and it has more health. It has a better. Well, now this gun laser cannon's 3 instead of the 5, or instead of the 4. Like I just it in its role in CIS, I'm not quite sure about yet. Like I don't think this tax of extra 10 points you're paying is for scouting party. Like I don't think it's worth it right now. Maybe
Does the
they
Gar
have something
ATRT
in the
surge down?
guard surges down. No,
Okay.
it doesn't surge down.
Yeah, so then it's not even getting the defense benefit that like if you were to shoot the crab, you're gonna shoot it into an ATRT that doesn't surge down, that doesn't get token sharing. So
Well,
that's
what I'm saying is
not
compared to the ATRT is better, right?
no
Um,
Mm.
no.
so this has one less health, and its role is just not. I don't know. I don't like it. That's just my opinion on it. Nick, how'd you feel facing against it?
Oh my gosh, the crabs were the most amazing unit ever invented. Luke Luke Skywalker, hero of the rebellion, was powerless against them. He swung his Pierce One piece of crap lightsaber and did absolutely nothing. He didn't even kill one crab.
Yeah, you did. You killed one crab.
No, he didn't.
Well, I don't know if he
No,
did, but
he
you guys
didn't.
eventually did.
Eventually, other things had to come kill the crab because he couldn't. Um, yeah, no, I think you're underselling them, JR.
Well,
And again,
enlighten me.
not that there's just not that they are um like this overpowering unit, but they are a cheap mobile red save unit. I mean, I
No,
think, yeah, they are speed 2, big base,
Yep.
climbing, with reposition, which means they can pivot twice every time they move, right? So they have armor with their red save, so they're gonna stick around, and they're not you don't have to put a ton of points into them. I
Yeah.
think they are great for getting to a point that maybe somebody did not put enough to cover that point, and you're not gonna be able to get rid of them. Look at our just look at our game. I had a literal Luke Skywalker, now Commander Luke. Yes, I know. He literally couldn't kill the crab, and I probably didn't roll that great, but couldn't kill the crab, and there was two of them, and I also had two ATRTs there. I couldn't kill them because you rolled your saves. I
sure.
didn't get enough wounds. I got my one wound for Pierce One, right, and I couldn't kill the crab, and I couldn't hold my point. So it's like, and you paid your two crabs cost way less than all the things I brought
That's not
that were
true.
holding down that point.
Like here, okay.
You paid cheaper. Like, okay, my thing about crabs is, to be clear, they're too expensive.
No.
No,
No.
no,
No.
no,
No.
That's it.
no,
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 no, no,
Okay,
no.
no.
okay. I think
You
it's
want
okay. I think
cheap
it's time
shit
for
and
me to
you're already
speak.
Prove me
cheap
Let
wrong.
shit
Zenny go.
list,
Go
JR.
ahead, Rob.
That's
Prove
your
me
Let
wrong.
Zenny think.
problem.
Prove me
Okay.
wrong.
So Jose seems to think they should go up in price, right? Would you
Yes.
Oh
okay,
my.
Jose
Oh
thinks they
my
should go up in
God.
price.
No.
So let's just get that foundation, right? I'm not quite with Jose, like maybe a few points, but
It's
I
still
definitely
up.
don't think they need to go down because like everything that Nick said is correct. But I think a lot of what you're doing, JR, is you're focusing on the scouting party as the like key thing they do, and that's true. They do that. That is really good. But I'm kind of more with Nick where it's like they are mobile and they can just get around the entire battlefield. Again, they have climbing vehicle, they have scale, so they can go over height to whatever you're trying to throw at them. And because of that massive base, they can get across the board super fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, they're playing like to me, it feels like, and I could be wrong, the support category right now, their job in general across the game is to sit on points and or make it 2 points that are in the enemy's back line, but they're all about trying to make the point or make players think about POIs. Does that make sense, right?
That
Like
makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
speeders are all about going to get the enemy's back POI, so they have to defend it, right? So you're threatening that. You have stuff like commandos and range troopers that are more like we're going to sit back and defend our far back POIs. But to me, that's their job is to mess with POIs specifically. And like I know that's the whole point of the game, so every unit is doing that, right? But like crabs to me are this really in this really good spot of You can use them to hold your back point and just sit in the back with their range 3, 5 black, and they'll probably get some good hits in, right?
And they
But
can
now
make it to
you're
another
talking
POI
about
really
83
fast.
And
point
that's what I was
unit.
about to say, Jose.
They
And
can
then
make, they
make
can
it to
double tap.
and then they can double tap to another POI because of their speed. And that's what's so good about them to me. And for the record, do they do any one thing in the game really, really well or better than any other unit in the game? No. They're not better. I wouldn't
Enabler.
say that they're the best speed unit. They're not the best shooting unit. They're not the best defensive unit. But they do everything pretty decently. And it's a jack of all trades unit that you can rely on to stick around for a while and to do some decent damage
Do
and
they
to
have
threaten
a
enemy
bigger base
points.
than ATRTs?
And you can hide behind them. I don't know if
No,
it's a bigger base, but it's
you
at least the size
you
of an
can't hide
ATRT.
behind them.
And why are you complaining? Why are you comparing the points to the clone ATRT? To put the 5 black on the clone ATRT, it's 80 points. So yours is only 3 points more, and you have more keywords.
A lot more keywords.
Not
And
not
isn't
particularly well.
Same base.
Same base.
same base. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Like-
and doesn't the ATRT move speed 1?
No,
So-
ATRT speed 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
so ATRT has armor 2, which same as crabs. They have
Mhm.
climbing vehicle, same as crab.
Mhm.
Do they have reposition?
No,
So and they don't have
ATRTs
program,
don't?
but they don't have scale, I don't think, right?
they don't.
And
They
then
don't
the
have
scouting
scout-
party stuff.
They
But
don't
they do
scouting
have
party.
scout 1, right?
Gars
Scout
have
one.
They
scout.
do have Scout
Gars
1, but
have-
no Scouting Party.
So
No
like
scouting
No,
party.
Gar has scout. The
Yeah.
regular rebels don't.
but no
Yeah, they
Scouting
do.
Party.
Yeah, Rebels
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Scout 1 as well.
So pretty much the better keywords that you're talking about is program, which isn't a better keyword. That's a negative.
So-
But they have
reposition,
reposition, which is
With-
really good.
Sure. And
That
then
is
scouting
really
party
good.
1, I don't think that's really good. That's my argument.
Okay,
is-
okay,
Okay,
okay.
Right
and
now.
they have
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh,
scale.
Okay, Jared.
Right,
For
let
3
me
points
clarify.
more.
Right now, in what CIS has, I don't think there's anything worthwhile to scout party with.
Okay.
Yet.
Let's assume that Scouting Party isn't on the card. Let's erase it from your mind.
Okay.
Still got a lot.
It's
going
not
for
there.
it.
Compare it to an ATRT. It has the same speed, the same health, or sorry,
does it?
1 less health,
Yep.
but armor 3 instead of armor 2. It's got a
No, it
better
doesn't have
movement
armor 3.
ability.
It's armor 2.
Armor 2.
Oh, I'm
Armor
thinking of
2.
Aqua's. Sorry. So the same armor, but 1 less health,
And
and then it has
hold
impact on its gun.
Aquas also have armor 2.
You're thinking of Dark Troopers.
Dark Troopers. Arcos have.
Sorry, we played Dark Troopers yesterday. No, I am thinking of Dark Troopers, but
Yeah, I was
Uh,
like, ooh,
didn't you play with your crab having armor 3?
no.
No, I didn't. Don't look at
Not
me.
you.
You were
I'm talking
doing
about Jose.
no. You were doing
Oh.
all the math. No, you didn't say 3.
Okay,
I
I
don't
think
know
I
why
thought they
you're
had
saying
armor 3
right
by the way,
now.
but that's fine.
I don't know why
it
you're
didn't
saying
matter.
three
I
now.
killed one in round 1, so it doesn't matter. But
What'd you do? Oh.
It wasn't
Uh,
round 1. It was round.
it was round 1, but it doesn't
No, it
matter.
wasn't.
Okay, you just.
Oh, it was
you
round
just-
2. It was
you're-
round 2. It was round 2.
Rob, you're on my side.
It was
you
round
just
2. It was
don't know
round
it.
2.
Round 2.
You
That was
just
round
don't
2.
know it.
No, but I'm not. Again, I don't think.
But we
they're the
also had
best
a
thing in the-
suspicious red
I also
die that
spent
might have
like
showed up.
5 shots on it. Like, of course it's gonna die.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it, this, its
It
role is
I think it
unclear.
goes above its pay. Like if
Yeah,
it
they're
can
fine.
get better
The
than
ability-
its points value, it does not
the
need to go up
ability-
or down in points.
JR, the ability for it to sit on a back POI and score the POI while shooting range 3, and then at the drop of a hat, double move and touch another POI. There's not another unit in
CIS.
CIS.
Well,
but that's
the
not.
boss.
Wait, hold on. That's not. I said in CIS. That's not a snail.
The snail
That's not a
is what I meant.
tank. And that's not a speeder that can make it. The Decas can't make it unless they ball mode. But then you're just putting. Okay, you want to send a Deca and lose all its shields for ball mode? I'll blow it up. I'm just
That's
saying.
if you have any acts going after you,
So-
bomb it, right?
Okay, so but here's the thing. Again, just like the Arfs, I don't think it's the greatest unit ever.
Sure.
I told Jose yesterday, I think your list would be better without him. But I
Yeah,
don't think
I
they
agree.
need a points reduction. They are fine as they are. They're not going to be the most competitive thing in the game, but the scouting party is neat and it's nifty, and it may allow you to do some things that you otherwise cannot do. And so that alone makes me think, all right, definitely don't reduce the price, because
I don't
you
know.
could give
I
it.
think I think they need like a 5 or 10 point reduction.
No, they'd be too cheap.
No.
I don't
They'd be
know,
way
man.
too
I
cheap.
think
I
right
just-
now we haven't. It's too early to tell if they're not.
Sure,
If my,
I've only got, like,
it's
2
it's too
games
early to
under my belt.
tell. It's too early to tell if they're niche or not. I mean, everything jack of all trades, whatever. But we're literally, me and JR, I think, are what, in person, like 2 games in. we have yet to see somebody with 30 games of crabs and what they really can do. To say that my list would be better without them is just you making the assertion off of 2 games versus somebody's probably going to crack it open differently that can operate it better than I can. So
Well, I'm not
I'm
saying
not
that
willing
there's
to
no
say
list that could use
I'm
them.
I,
I'm just
I'm
saying
I'm
in
not
your
willing to say
list.
that no, to be honest, I don't I think that I'm not saying that they're a take all the time, but I don't think we've seen what somebody can actually do with them because
Sure.
I have them in my list as an enabler just to enable Dooku and Asajj. I don't have them in there with any other focal point other than that. And to be honest, my only gripe with the crab, give it a flamethrower.
Yeah, yeah. Arsenal too. While they're at it,
I mean, it's got that nice
No.
Pierce one melee, so I don't know
sure.
if it needs a
That I
flamethrower.
do like. Like my game against Nick, I chose to do no guns, and
He's boxing with this crab.
it was really nice to
The
just
crabs
go up
can't
to
have a
flamethrower.
flamethrower though. They're a water unit. They're in
That's
the
true too.
water.
That does make
True
very
too.
much sense.
They should have a poison gun. There you go.
No, that wouldn't work in the water
Mm.
either.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Fishes and crabs, they all have poison stuff underneath the water.
All right, we're getting too crazy here.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But
Either
okay.
way,
All right,
right?
moving on. We'll agree to disagree. We'll see what
Like
happens. Yeah, I will
again,
perfectly concede the point that I am wrong if we start seeing them in meta lists and out there. But right now, I just don't see it. I don't see it yet.
yeah.
But on that note, Nick, you got the chance to play against Aquas. How did you
Mhm.
feel playing against them?
Uh, they were, I mean, they were okay. I mean, like they weren't, I didn't feel like they were overpowered, if that's what you mean. They seemed good. Um, they were confusing definitely to play for the first time to remember that they block line of sight,
Mm,
because you're not used to a unit that looks like a infantry unit that
Mm,
blocks line of sight, right? Usually they don't look like a vehicle on the game board.
right.
When you're playing the game, they're not a stereotypical vehicle model, so you don't think of them as a vehicle. So all the time you kept thinking I could see through them because they look like a unit, an
yeah.
infantry unit. So
Which
that was hard to kind of remember that. Um, but no, they were good. Yeah, it's them being mobile and them being to cohere was definitely um new to have to play against, because that's not something we've seen before in the game, and that will take some getting used to for sure.
Mm. Rob, how do you feel going against them?
they are insanely undercosted.
Oh,
Like 20, 30 points.
oh,
yup.
30 points. Literally 30 points.
no, they're
Like
perfect.
give
They're
these guys the
perfect.
Dark Trooper treatment.
Nope.
Or reduce Dark Troopers points by 30 points, because like these guys, for you get basically about a snail's shot from these guys, about a snail's health from these guys. And yes, you can lose minis and reduce the damage. I understand all that for
The
about
effort.
half the cost.
I'm with
It
Rob.
is, they are insanely undercosted.
Jose, how do you feel playing them?
Like, oh my, like they're
So they
no,
are
no. Let me
they
finish here. I'm almost done. I
okay.
Go
promise.
for it. I thought you were finished. Just
No,
for
no,
the
No,
no,
no, go for
because they have, again, it's great armor. The infiltrate feels dumb. Even when your opponent makes a mistake and infiltrates them on a building, you're still very scared of them, because again, they still hit hard and they take so much to chew through, because it is 12. If any unit had 12 wounds, it'd be hard. But 12 wounds behind armor 2 is insanely hard to chew through. And all of that for 90 points. 93 points to be
93.
precise.
Yeah.
That is insane how cheap they are. Like it's utterly bonkers. I cannot believe that they released them this cheap. Go Jose.
Go ahead.
Like you will never outshoot their cost. You have to ignore
So
them, because
the
unless you can one shot them, it was not worth your time. So play sleeper cells and you'll be fine. You can like basically
I
neuter
don't
them with a
believe
sleeper
that
cell
one
shot.
second. I do not believe that for one
With
second.
a sleeper cell shot, doing 12 dice with an aim and surge to hit on
Yes,
12 black
because
dice.
if they didn't surge down, I would say yes, because you're doing armor and surge down, and then you're banking that you're going to be able to get all 8 hits through. Chances are you can, but you're in a perfect world. You're assuming I'm going to whiff that entire block. So I
But
don't
you're
think
still
that's
Yes.
shooting
a.
10.
I'm not saying you're
dice.
going to kill them, but you are going to neuter
12,
them with one
12
shot.
dice.
But here's the thing: when
12 dice.
you expect when you expose if you expose your sleeper cell to shoot at an aqua, that sleeper cell's dead
Well,
the next
if
turn.
if the CS player is playing right, the Aqua's the only thing the sleeper can shoot, to be
Oh,
clear.
Right.
yes, I get that, but I'm saying if you expose a sleeper cell to lay into my aqua, I'm gonna take every advantage I can to launch something into that sleeper cell, which like I said, I don't think you should do that. I think the correct thing for the Aqua Droid is to ignore it. I think you give it the ATS, the AAT, the
Yeah, no,
ATSC treatment
yeah.
because the
Bring
sleeper cell has to come
ornaments.
in the sleeper cell has to come into range 2 to knock the Aqua, right? Well, the Aqua player and the way I try to do it and the way I've heard other podcasts do it, it's behind the Aqua, something that's just gonna dive out and then kill something real fast.
Yeah,
So if
they're
you're
they're
gonna
busted.
and and as we found out with Rebels, especially LVO, those sleeper cells are kind of like a linchpin to what they're trying to do. And so if you're gonna expose a sleeper cell to deal with a lame duck moving wall, that's a net win for the opposing CIS player.
Sure, sure.
Um, but no, I agree with Rob. I think they're expensive. I think they're inexpensive for what they bring. The infiltrate is stupid. The vehicle thing throws me for a loop because I don't see how it's a vehicle. But here's my reasoning. I think the reason AMG gave him vehicle, not droid trooper, like the Dark Troopers, is could you imagine these things daisy chaining?
Oh, that'd be so amazing.
That's
I would
why
Oh
love
they
that.
made
yeah.
him vehicles. That's why they
No,
made him
yeah.
be
I would
droid.
love
That's why they
that.
made him heavies or vehicles and not droid trooper because they have a trooper frame. They have legs, they have arms. It makes sense why an AAT is blocking sight. It makes sense why Snail's blocking sight. They're heavy. Those are heavy vehicles. These guys were literally, I feel, given heavy vehicle because if not, they would have to have droid trooper, and then it'd be all fucking hell from there. Sorry, Nick. But no, they are really cheap for what they do. I mean, in my and I agree with Rob. Rob spent in our first game with me and Rob, he spent so many actions just trying to peel them off the board that by the time he got them peeled down, it didn't matter because the trade-off was he killed my 200 and was it 206 point aquas, and that wasn't even a net positive because he lost his Vader in the process. So
Well, I
I
also
like
killed a Saj, but yeah.
but still that you weren't able all
No,
that
I
effort
you're correct. I was because
crazy.
and that's why I know to say don't shoot at them. Like the points are just not worth it. You have to shoot
And
everything else. But
and then
it,
eh, good. Sorry.
no, but like I said, like it is very difficult to not shoot at them because most of the time they're going to be in your face and they're going to be and all the stuff you want to shoot at is going to be behind them. Just because that's what they're doing is they are walking up, they are your wall. It's exactly what makes the bus so good, except they have more health than a bus. Yes, you can kill them one by one, but you're going to be able to hide the one thing that actually really matters behind them, and you're going to be able to hide enough minis that it's just they're so undercosted. It's not even funny.
And then the other thing too is like that Rob was pointing out, like in our last game, I deployed them wrong, and even then deployed wrong, he still had to worry about
The
them right
whole
there
friggin' game
because of
because
the
they still
range.
shoot
So
like a
it
truck.
had I not had that been a lesser unit, Rob would have just swarmed the middle and the game would have been over by two. But because he had to be wary of when that unit was gonna go and what it could do, he couldn't do nothing really to try to mitigate it other than try to bounce in and out and wait for them to go. And in CIS, where you have a lot of high acts, that's a hard thing to do. And he seriously only accomplished that because the Dark Trooper shenanigans with the tokens, that was clutch for that. Had he not had that, he would have had to get onto that POI. And
And
it's
Palpatine
scary.
moving people onto the point.
Yeah, and it's scary because had that unit been deployed correctly, like it's a bigger uphill battle for him than just worrying about it being stuck there. So the cost, the points that they're
And I
worth
I do
and
want to
what they
mention this
bring,
for those at home. The mistake Jose made is he had his aqua droids on top of a building thinking that you could
they
climb
were
down
people.
with them, but they are vehicles, which does come with you cannot climb down with them.
Yeah.
So they were stuck on top of a building, but they were still within like range 2 of the POI in the center because it was closed the pocket. They still hid his T series all game, so I couldn't shoot him. So they still were impactful, even
But
not. But if they had been in the center of the board on turn 2, like Jose wanted, it would have been. It would have
and
been.
the other thing Nick pointed out too, and not even just the LOS blocking aspect of it. Rob got me a couple times because I needed to get the T series up in there to try to preserve some of my units by taking dodge for exemplar, and you forget their
Oh, that did
vehicles.
happen like 3
And
times.
so Rob's like, I'm gonna attack her. I'm like, cool, take one off the top. He's like, from what? I said from the T series. He's like, dude, he's behind a wall. I'm like, oh, that's right. So even as a player playing them, like I'm learning
Yeah.
them, it's that you forget, and I need to stress this out a lot. I think this is going to be one of those ticky tack things where players are going to forget in competitive events, and it is what it is. There are people that are given vehicle keyword because they'd be OP if you could coordinate.
Yeah, it's one of those rules where it's like, I hopefully it's just a simple mistake. Like exemplar LOS is like it's hard to remember sometimes if you
Yeah.
haven't if you're like, oh wait, this is a vehicle. I'm literally using them to hide my guy. Of course, I can't get the dodge through, but like hopefully
Can
people
you do
remember
the
that.
Can you do the math on something? So hearing various podcasts from I was talking to Jar about this. One of the podcasts said that the full shot with the heavy from the Aqua Droids is the equivalent to a full ARC Trooper with before the aim.
Before the game. Yeah, give me a second.
I'm just curious to know if that
So
math is
so
actually
my
checks out.
my opinion, while Rob looks that up, is that no, these guys are fine. They're perfectly fine. They
Yeah,
need to be
no.
cheaper. Everything in CIS needs to be cheaper and have
It's
coordinates.
already cheap,
Totally not
bro.
biased. Totally not.
Yeah, they're
Um, no, I agree with you guys. I think the Aquas, I think that's the role they serve, right? The role is that they block line of sight, and it's going to take you a lot more commitment to kill these guys, which is why that's why you're paying for them, right? Whether they're too cheap or too, just at the right price, I don't not sure yet because I've only got 2 games in, but they definitely are effective in doing their job, which is soaking up shots and blocking line of sight. And you could
I'm
just put them on a
almost
POI and just sit there
so the one thing I want to do that I'm
what kind of
scared
arcs
to
did they say, by
do
the way?
full
without the
arcs
aim.
without
So
the aim.
so a
Um,
4-man squad or a 5-man squad?
4-man.
for
So
man. I'm wondering if you could. The heavy gun's good, and the extra 3 hit points is good. I want to know if running them is just naked, just 3 models, 3 less health,
Yeah,
could
because
be some type of net
you
positive.
can still put them on a POI and they'll be just fine, right? That because again, if they're on a
I feel
POI,
like the
you're
extra hit points matter though.
but I mean this at 65, that's
so they're
9
about
health behind armor 2. Your opponent has to commit more to killing that unit. Then you got everything else in CIS that is going to be decked out because I literally have right here a 12-act list with 2
Of course
Aquas
you
with the
do.
heavy, 3 Droidicras, Kalani with aggressive tactics, recon intel, a T series with recon intel, then 5 B2s with the BCA ACM, and 4 of those have emergency transponders.
I mean, I think you take the Aquas with Dooku like every day of the week. I think you do Dooku and you do Magnas. Keep your Droidicas, that's fine. But like some whip Magnas, put in some Dooku shenanigans. Yeah,
Sure.
you're down to like,
Sure.
like 11 acts with B1s, but like, yeah, I don't know. That just seems really good to me because Dooku's in a really good spot right now.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and you know what? Let me add more B2s. I just did this. I'm at 13 acts right now. Dooku, 2 Whip Magnas, 2 Aquas, 3 Droidicas, and like that to me just is like,
Does
come
your
at me.
Aquas have a heavy or no?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, see.
like it's 93 points with the heavy. Like how do you not?
I feel like you lose a lot of offensive output if you don't bring that heavy because 3 white, 3 black is not great.
Well, does your B2s have the ACM or no?
Me? I just threw in 5 B1s.
Oh, B1.
My B1s aren't doing anything. They're just there to
Yeah.
hold points and swarm at the end of the game
Yeah, I
in this
got you. I
list.
got you.
But
Yeah.
I'm not the CAS player. That's just how I would
So
approach it.
what was the math on that shot?
So it's about 4.9 for a 10-man arc, or sorry, for a 10 dice arc. If they have a surge, it's 5.7. The
Before the
Aquas
aim?
are 5.1. Yeah, that was before the aim.
Yes, that's pretty close. Yeah, that's scary,
And
dude.
that's a 10-man, keep in mind, with spending their surge from the commander on offense.
With a
If
white versus a white save armor unit.
yeah, it's a
I mean,
very good
comparison,
shot.
not yeah. That's why
Yeah,
I was
it's a
like, man,
very good shot.
I didn't realize it was that good.
Well, let's move
How
on
could you
because
not? You like full
we're
boated
getting a
it
little
every
too
time
long
against
here.
me.
So before we end this episode, I know we got some rules questions.
Let's save
Ooh.
the rules questions.
Want to save
No,
them?
no, no, no. We
Save
need to
them.
talk about at least one of them.
They're fun. They're easy. They're easy, Nick.
All right.
Go for
All
it.
right,
All
let's
right.
hear it.
All right. So let me pull them up
Oh man, I
because
just
some
looked
of
at
them
the
I was
time.
like,
Yeah, we probably do need
what?
to.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
No,
saying.
no.
Let's
One
save
and
the rules
one.
questions.
One, one,
Pick
one,
Let's
one.
one, one,
save
one, one,
them.
one.
They're easy. They're easy.
One.
Ready? Ready?
Okay.
All right. Droidica minis. This is from Podfree. Hi there. Is it permissible for players to use the rolling version of the Droidica when not in wheel mode, either or both models in the unit? Doing so could provide an advantage. For example, the mini can be placed behind low walls and not be targeted when it comes out. Example around the side. He says this feels like this is similar to the modeling for competitive advantage category. However, this is using standard Legion models built correctly, so would not be covered. So this is one of the things that I used to do back in the day. I used to like not use the rolling droidicas. I would just use the ball marker, but some people prefer to use the rolling droidica and a standing model, and
I
nobody
do.
ever had a problem with it. So for this guy to ask this question kind
So
of got me.
okay, so the answer is no, you cannot, is my guess. I'll explain it if you want, but I'm just gonna say no, you cannot.
No, you cannot what?
Use the rolling model for your normal movement on the Droideka.
So this is important
Correct.
because I roll. I do that. I have the standing one and the rolling one as one unit because I think it's just why not use the roll one and it just looks cool. So I'm gonna be devil's advocate and say yes, just because I
Yeah.
want that to be a
You
thing.
you have to use the standing one when they're standing.
Correct.
The using the rolling one is optional when they're rolling. You don't have to use
Yes.
the rolling.
Yeah, see, my cheap ass used the rolling one to have an extra Droidica unit off one box.
That
But anyways, so
is not
said just
legal.
that's well, back in the day, it didn't matter. Nobody said anything about it. It was not even a thing. That's why I
Right.
thought it was weird that this popped up now. But now they're sticking to the rule of the book. Set just put as described will mode unit keyword entry. Players use the ball form for the droidic miniatures only when the unit uses will mode keyword and only for the duration of that round. In short, it's not permissible. So then just get rid of your ball mode tokens then, because that's you had the token if you didn't want to swap out the mini. But now you know.
Well, no, no, let's be clear here. Like you can still use the ball mode mini when you're in ball mode.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
just can't use it as your standard Droideka.
Yeah.
And the
And
reason for
Gotcha.
that is because of the exact thing the guy said is if I have a wall that's smaller and it's before the game, and I'm like, all right, that they have a wall that it's this height, so I can hide my Droideka behind it. I don't really need to LOS block with my Droidekas, so I'm gonna use ball mode for this game. Or,
Gotcha.
there's a slightly taller wall and it can cover the other bigger Droideka. And so I'm like, oh, now I get to use my Droidekas to block LOS on my minis. And like it's way too much. That is clear modeling for advantage. Like, and it's clearly in the rules that it says that you can swap to ball mode. It never says you can use the ball mode for standing droidekas.
Gotcha. All right. Ion token stackings by Darth Raphius.
Love it.
If you have multiple tokens and you fail to roll two or more ion tokens off, i.e., you are left with two ion tokens, how many actions does that unit lose?
how?
You only ever lose
Oh,
one.
You only ever lose one.
I
Yeah.
forgot you roll for Ion now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, but does the number matter? Like if you have two ion tokens, you fail both, how many actions do you get?
one.
One. You lose one action. If you have 3 iron tokens and you roll 3 dice, if you don't roll,
Yeah, the
Is
reason
that
yeah,
you
is that
so
new? I feel like they used to stack in Old Legion.
It did an
Like
old
two
Legion.
they
Old
did.
yeah,
Legion,
but
right?
remember
So
they made it
if
so that your ion weapons are no longer capping.
They don't exhaust.
so then when you
Exhaust, thank you.
Ion something and let's say you said they had 3 Ion tokens. If I roll all 3 dice and let's say one blank, I only get one action, but all three are coming off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. I
Yeah,
didn't
this
play
is
that way with
So
Michael.
there's not a huge reason to stack them.
Well, it helps guarantee that they actually will lose that action because there's
lose the
just one.
action.
You could roll one die and
Right.
roll paint, and then they don't lose the action.
Like I will shoot at targets twice with ion, but most of the time it just is like I activated later in the first round after that one went, and then earlier in the second round. So
Yeah.
like I'm
Okay,
not
so
like
next
go.
next one is by G. Barker. Can Dauntless be used to withdraw? And it's simple. Can you withdraw from an engagement when using the Dauntless ability?
Oh,
I'm gonna say yes, because isn't it withdraw a move action?
yeah. I think they changed how withdraw works so that you can now.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say yes.
because now that it's just one action, I think you can. What do you think, Nick?
I'm gonna guess no because Dauntless is during the rallying step and not during your perform action step.
Set says from the withdraw entry, an engaged unit may withdraw during its activation to leave melee. To withdraw, a unit must make a move action. Dauntless provides a free move action at the beginning of a unit's perform action step, which is
Mm,
during its activation. So
okay,
yes,
so you
you
can.
can.
Oh, so it is still during the activation. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And that was it. Simple.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
We're
Fun
not going to
little
talk
ones I
about the
thought were
elephant one. I guess we'll do that one next
Yeah,
week.
we'll talk about that next
Next
week.
next week.
Big
Yeah.
yeah, it's
big
past
rules.
Nick's
Big
bedtime.
rules not change in quotes next
Yep.
week.
Anyways, guys, thank you guys for joining me as always. And those that are still here listening, we appreciate you guys listening to us. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode. See ya.
See ya.
Later.
Yes.